now that we have been through the acquire resources process, let's review the inputs, outputs, tools, and techniques of the acquire resources process. Now, first, with the inputs, obviously, we are going to have, of course, our plans. And as you know, I like to draw a big file folder to represent the project management plan because it really includes all of our plans. Obviously, one being the resources management plan, because, well, if we're planning to get a certain type of resources, then one of those plans that we're really going to pay attention to are the resources and what we're going to do and with them, and how we're going to acquire them, how we're going to get them, how we're going to let them go, how we're going to train them, how to get the best out of them when we have them, all those kind of things, right? All right, that's the acquiring from the project management plan. There could also be other kind of documentations that's going to assist us. I'll just say docs here, because, you know, there's calendars and resource guides and all these other materials that we might have at our disposal. And as you know, we are a product of our environment, and so I'm going to draw a building here to kind of represent the company as our enterprise environmental factors. And then two, there might be certain requirements that we have to follow as we get or acquire those resources. Those could be our organizational process assets, maybe like templates, or maybe certain guidelines we have to follow. So I'm just going to draw a binder to represent that. All right, those again were the inputs. Now let's go to the tools and techniques. Well, we're going to decide, and you know, there could be a lot of decisions about how we go about getting those resources, acquiring them, human or physical, whatever the case might be. But there could be multiple ways we go about it. So we're just going to kind of simplify that here with calling it multi-criteria, because there could be lots of different variables and assets and just other ways that you're going to pick, right? You know, pick that one, but not this one, or whatever the case might be, that is going to assist you and your team to best get the resources that you need to acquire. Also, there could be a lot of just interpersonal and team conversations and decisions and how things work, how they don't work. And so we're just going to kind of call those your interpersonal skills. And, you know, if you're trying to convince somebody to join your project and you want them most of the time and not with their other projects, you're going to try to work with them, you know, use your skills of communication and negotiation. Maybe you need to acquire those resources from another manager who also wants those resources, and so you're going to have to use your skills there. Sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes somebody's already given to you, and that's it. That this person is going to be with you whether you want it or not, or you are required to use certain materials. You know, maybe you can only use certain trucks, or the land that you're using is already pre-assigned, or the materials that are going to be there. So it, again, is pre-assignment, which means that it is given to you and acquired to you even before the project begins, whether you want it or not. Hopefully you like it more than you don't. And then two, we have the power of virtual teams now with our telecommunications. So we have people all throughout the world that can join our project and be part of the project even if they're not here. And that even goes maybe too for cloud computing, right? Because even if it's not on premise, it's still something that you can utilize and acquire for your project. All right, those are the tools and techniques. On to now the outputs. Well, if we're out to acquire resources, well, we should get resources. And so I guess I'll just draw a box to say we got the resource, or I can draw that truck again to say, okay, we got it, and so we can start using it for our construction project, and you know, and the people too. But this is what we talk about, the physical. We're really referring to, the not the human so much, but more the material, and that's our physical resources that we've got. We also now have the people then, and not only the people, but and I'm calling people by the project team, but how we want to use them, the assignments, and you know, when they're joining the project, when they're leaving the project, what they're going to do when they have the project, But also when we're acquiring the resources, well, we planned one thing and now those resources are not available, or the project has changed. We're not needing them the same way. So we might require some changes that need to go through the integrated change control. We might update our plans, whether or not we got somebody or didn't get somebody. Well, maybe their skill set changed or what we need them to do, or maybe they fit perfectly and maybe they can even do more. So we have project management plan updates. Those documents that we've been referencing also can be updated, and even the environment that we're in. Maybe we found a new way of working within our environment, and those gets some updates. And even as we mentioned, I'll have this binder opened to show that we're using it, but our organizational process assets can also be updated based on the template. So maybe we found a better way to use it, or to categorize a certain role or person or the team, or even the the resources we've used. Well, we've got to document how we acquired it and how we used it, so that way we can best use it in the future. All right, so those again are very brief reminders of what we talked about in the acquire resources process from the crowd training.